What do you think about the Hoosiers in year two with Cignetti coming off that playoff appearance?
Well, I think Kurt Cignetti is a hell of a football coach, and I'll start there. And I think he's actually got a really good staff, too. His defensive coordinator, Brian Haynes, was actually a guy who was on staff at Ohio State as a graduate assistant when I was a player. And so I've watched his career, and he kind of rose up with Cignetti. They met up at JMU or one of the stops maybe before that, but he was there at JMU. And then last year was the architect of a top 10 defense for Indiana. Fernando Mendoza is the transfer portal quarterback that they got. I think he's a really good player. I think that he's the type of guy who not only will be productive for Indiana, but also will be looked at as a legitimate NFL prospect. So they're good there. Wide receivers, I think they're going to be a solid group as well. And maybe not super top flight, but just as a whole, I think that group's going to be productive. But then you start to ask the question about the trenches and can they really hold up to what some of the top teams are able to do year in and year out, which is have really good trench play. And that's probably the hardest part of your team to develop. I know on the defensive line, they might not be as good as they were last year. Lots of guys who draft picks certainly have one of the top edge rushers in the Big Ten coming back, Mikael Kamara, but do they have enough as a whole in that group? Is their linebacker group going to be the same? I think depth is going to be an issue back there. And then I look at their secondary. D'Angelo Pons is a quarterback for them. People should know his name nationally. I think he's going to be a great player. But outside of that, you're asking the question. So this is Kurt Cignetti now kind of having to reload. He was able to bring his guys over from JMU. He was able to develop some of what was already at Indiana. But now it's like, okay, can you repeat that? And it's not going to be necessarily him or how he coaches, but from a personnel standpoint, can you convince good enough players that Indiana's a place where they can come, have success, and then go off and play in the NFL?